All right, thank you for joining us today. We are here to talk about updating the Arizona Early Childhood Workforce Registry. My name is Ginger Sandweg, and I am with First Things First, and I am presenting today with Melissa Busby.
Hey everyone, I'm Melissa Busby. I am with the Arizona Department of Economic Security, Division of Childcare, and I am the administrator for the Early Childhood Quality and Systems Building Administration, and happy to be here with Ginger today to talk about these proposed changes to our Early Childhood Registry.
So a little bit of background on what we're going to be presenting today. A few years ago, pre-COVID, we were doing some work around this project really to help change the way that practitioners are viewed. We know that the registry was developed quite some time ago. We've had some experience in implementing the registry and some feedback on how the registry has worked with the career lattice and professional development and all of the work of the registry. And we, a few years ago, decided to embark on a project to be a little bit more inclusive of all of the roles and the experience and all of the things that you all bring to this profession and bring to the work you do with young children. We wanted to increase engagement in the use of the registry and have it be something that is serving you as a practitioner, that it's easier to navigate, that it is personalized for you and what you bring to the industry. And then we also wanted to make some system improvements to really clarify what are pathways in early childhood? Where am I at as a professional in the pathway or any of the pathways that exist? And so we really were trying to get to a place that a practitioner could log into the registry and not see one career lattice level that was trying to do everything, trying to help you understand your education, trying to help you understand your professional development, trying to help you understand your years of experience, and all in one level. But really, as you can see on the screen, really trying to parse out your professional identity so that it was clear where you are at, what you bring to the table, and how you're going to work in the early childhood field. So when we embarked on this project, you can see 2018, so quite some time ago, and we all know COVID interrupted a lot of the work that we were doing. We did some research and development, and we were looking at the career lattice. We were looking at the professional development and education report in the registry, and we were looking at the goals plan in the registry. And we identified some things that we wanted to change and do differently. We had some professional identity roadshows between 2019 and 2020 to get some feedback. We created some surveys, we added some things to the website, and at the time, there was a professional development work group that was supporting this work and had identified, yeah, let's move forward with the revisions. We were supposed to do some field testing in 2021 and 2022, and you are all aware of the impact that the global pandemic had on the entire world, let alone the early childhood field. And so we never got to do the field testing, and we were expecting to launch in July. However, we wanted to revisit this now so that we could do some field testing with you all, have people look at what was created, what we are looking to do, why we are looking to do that, and then get some feedback from you all about your experience, your feedback on some of the things that were developed so that we can launch some new things for the registry. We still want to do some and make some decisions by this July, which is why we are getting this presentation out widely to you so that we can get some feedback, so that we can start making some changes in the registry and have a full launch soon during this state fiscal year. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to set the stage on the Career Lattice and the work that we have done there. Melissa.
All right, thanks, Ginger. Okay, so as Ginger mentioned on one of the first slides, we wanted to start by thinking with the educator in the center of our work and the documents that we are using now in the registry to help try to describe the professional identity of people working in our field. And that meant taking a look at the tools that we had, including the professional development report, the professional development goals plan, and the career lattice level. And so this slide reflects what is current in our field, and this is our current career lattice. It's small on the screen, it's hard to see, but it's also hard to use. One of the things that we did when looking at the lattice, we realized that it has multiple measures of things that we are trying to identify at one time, including someone's formal education, right? So the current career lattice starts with a high school diploma or equivalent, which is one of the first requirements to enter the profession. It includes the number of hours of professional development that someone has obtained, anywhere from just a few clock hours up to 315 clock hours of professional development. And it also includes years of experience. And when we looked at the years of experience that are included, you can see in the columns that a level with a designation with a letter and a number 1 was someone who had less than 3 years of experience. Someone with a designation in a level 2 had 3 to 5 years experience, and someone who was at a level 3 would have up to 5 years of experience. And then it stopped. And it wasn't showcasing beyond that someone's experience or other accomplishments that a professional may have achieved beyond these 3 areas of formal education, professional development, and time spent. So we found that combining all these things into one document, we unintentionally created a career lattice that's kind of confusing and hard to understand and use. So in addition, at the time that we were reviewing our current professional identity documents, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, NEYC, also began, and actually we're wrapping up, the Power to the Profession initiative. And that included creating 3 separate designations for a profession that we call professional early childhood educator profession, with 3 different designations within that. So our proposed revisions that Ginger is going to preview later include some of those changes to places where we're including years of experience, places where we're highlighting professional development, and also an opportunity for us to indicate where people are at in those educator designations. So let's break it down to see what that might look like here in Arizona. So our proposed revision to the lattice, although it's not actually the lattice as we know it now, we're proposing that instead of identifying a single lattice level to try to be the one designation that identifies where someone is at in their professional development journey, that we use 3 different designations. And the first is the specific to formal education. So this new proposed structure starts like we do now with the very beginning place where people enter the field. that someone who meets DHS requirements to be working in programs, either in a certified program or licensed, that they have met these qualifications to be an educator in our field. And then the next step would be someone who is an educator A, would be someone who meets that first level, a high school diploma or equivalent, but also may have completed an approved high school CTE career pathway, career and technical education pathway, would receive an educator designation of educator A. We would then continue to progress through those 3 designations that align with NAEYC's Power to the Profession initiative and that unifying framework for the profession, and starting with ECE 1. And the formal education required for that level is completion of a professional preparation program or industry recognized credential, such as a CDA or a credential for someone who works in Montessori, or some other approved professional development pathway. And then the interesting thing about this new structure is also that someone in this case who completed, say, a CDA would be ECE 1. And then the next step for that person to progress to the next level would be to obtain at least 6 credits of college coursework in early childhood. And the next step to progress would be earning 12 credits of college coursework and formal education to move them to the next level. We created an intermediate step in our lattice between ECE 1 and ECE 2 to be Educator 1 Advanced. And that would be someone who has completed a college certificate of at least 18 credit hours early childhood related coursework in that certificate pathway. And the same structure applies throughout the lattice. Then the next step after completing the ECE 1 Advanced would be, for this area, completing 6 credit hours of general education coursework. And to move to ECE 1B Advanced, they would have 12 credits of general education coursework, because that's the thing that's going to move someone from ECE 1 to an ECE 2, which requires a minimum of an associate degree, and so on. And again, that's using that same structure of the next steps for ECE 2 that will get you to be an ECE 3 are to continue to take college coursework and advanced coursework that will move you into the bachelor's degree. So one thing that we also wanted to try to address in this lattice is our ability to collect good data about the field and the types of roles that people play and the types of careers that practitioners are filling in our system. And so while the lattice is focused on early childhood educators, we also created a space where starting at the baccalaureate level, we can begin to identify people who have related careers and related experience who might be serving in different roles in our field, like coaches, assessors, childcare health consultants, and other roles where we can try to include those different preparation that prepare someone for those roles in our field. So again, focusing with educators in the center, but also thinking about the systems and structures that are supporting those educators in their work. So now we'll hand back to you, Ginger, to talk about the proposed changes to the registry.
Thanks, Melissa. So as you know, when you log into your registry account, this is the screen that you see. It gives you your current lattice level. You can see this one does not have a lattice level calculated just yet. So the designation is a registry member. But as Melissa explained, That lattice level is trying to be all things to represent all of you, which it currently doesn't do very well. And so what we wanted to think about was, if we're looking at the educator designations as the formal education that a practitioner has achieved, where do those other things go? Where does my years of experience go? Where does my professional development hours go? And are there other things about me that I bring to my work that maybe should be highlighted? Do I have specific goals that I'm working on? Are there other specific focus areas that I have some certification in, or some additional coursework or professional development focus on? And so what we have proposed is to change the login screen to show a variety of things about each practitioner. So this is what we have proposed. Instead of having a left navigation that has a variety of things that you can click on, we are proposing that you open up the registry to see your own professional profile. We want to get some feedback on this. We've had a little bit of feedback about this so far, in terms of some of, like, there's a whole lot on here, and are there opportunities to minimize some of these things, or customize what my own profile looks like. So we've gotten some feedback on that. But what I want to show you are some of the things that we think would be a nice focus for the registry professional profile. As you can see right here up at the top is where your name would be and your registry ID number. So you can see that right up the front. That in this middle here at eye level is your education. So this is where that educator designation would be displayed. And it would tell you, oh, where are you at? Oh, what's your next level that you might want to achieve, and to be able to look and see, well, what does that level entail and what would I have to do? Your years of experience, which we know currently only says 5 years, and we don't know how many past 5 years there are, but this would give you, here's all of the experience you have, and here's how much longer until your next year anniversary, to really show where you are at in terms of how much experience you bring to the table. Goals that you have, not only goals that you've completed, but goals that you are working on, and how far you are in achieving those goals. And then professional development hours. So this is looking at, if I'm a licensed, working in a licensed program, I need 18 hours. And this is telling me how many hours I have towards that 18 and what I have left to do. And then lastly, at this, eye level, are any areas of specialty that you might bring to the table? You're trained in teaching strategies gold, or you have an AMI certificate in Montessori, or you're trained in the nurtured heart approach, or whatever it is that you have specified training in, you would be able to display this here. This is what we have been thinking about in terms of your professional identity, that it is not just a career lattice that is trying to do everything, but now it's an educator designation, separate from your experience, separate from your professional development, separate from your goals, and separate from your areas of expertise, that come together to describe who you are and what you bring to the profession. You can see there's a whole host of other things on this slide that we were thinking, these things might be helpful to have right at somebody's fingertips. So if there are career accomplishments that you want to be able to put and promote on your profile, a place for you to click and get college scholarships. So if your next level is, let's get 6 credits, or let's get 3 more credits in formal education, here's a place where you can just click and get to the scholarships application. Your work history, so not just the years of experience here, but here's the type of positions you have held in the field that makes up your work experience. So you can see, here's what I've done. These are the DES required training hours. The Department of Economic Security, Division of Child Care, requires specific health and safety training hours and expulsion prevention training hours. So this would show you, here's where I've completed, here's where I've not completed, and an ability to click right on any of these things that you haven't completed to find a training to be able to complete that. We also know that there is a set of workforce knowledge and competencies that we know is not widely used, and we would like it to be widely used. It is a set of competencies that we in Arizona believe all early childhood educators should know and be able to do in their work. And what this area would tell you is, of my professional development hours, where do I have, what competencies do I have training in? And what competencies do I not have training in, so that I would be able to click on what's not highlighted to see what training is available. Maybe I want to take some program management training sessions, or maybe I really want to focus on some family and community partnerships so that I know that I'm working well with the families that I'm serving. So this area of the workforce knowledge and competencies would identify what areas have you had training in. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And then if you look down here at the bottom, just some easy click buttons to view your registry profile, to search for training. We are anticipating to have a Spanish translation of the registry so that those who prefer to do their registry work in Spanish are able to do that, that you could submit documents really easily, or you could contact somebody at the registry to get some help. And then lastly, what I wanted to also point out is an easy export to a resume. So if you are wanting to apply for another job, that all of this stuff could be easily exported to your own resume, that then you would be able to adjust and edit and get out there for jobs that you are interested in. So those are the things that we were thinking about in terms of changing what the registry looks like. We anticipated that all of these things that you see here would be clickable. So if you wanted to change and update your job, you could click on this related work history and edit and add a new job, or put your new title at your same job so that you could just update your work history easily. That if you wanted to make some updates to your goals, you would just click right here and you would go right into the goals feature. That if you wanted to know more about your professional development hours, that you could click in here and see what hours you've taken and maybe what you might need to take more. Again, I talked about the DES so that you could click right on these individual requirements and search for training. So we want to hear from you. We want to know how this can help you as a professional. We want to know if there are things that you think we should consider differently. We want to know your experience in using the registry and what kind of functionality might help you use the registry easier. So we have this website that you can click on and go to that will take you to a page that has the educator designation, so you can open that up and take a look at it and spend some time with it. It has the registry dashboard that I just showed you so that you could actually open that up and take some time to look at it. And then it also has a link to a survey that we want you to fill out and give us some information and give us some feedback so that we can move forward with making the registry work for you, so that you can do what you do best in working with young children and families. So thank you so much for participating in the webinar. Melissa, do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
No, I don't think so. I think just really encouraging folks to give us your feedback, even if it's a simple, I love it, I don't know about it. I'm still thinking about it. Whatever the feedback is, we welcome your input in ways that we can support you in growing as professionals and making resources and supports easier to access, so that you can focus on doing the important work of supporting young children and families. So looking forward to your feedback, however simple or it may be.
And then if you would like to ask additional questions, you can put questions in the survey. But if you want to ask some questions before you fill out the survey, you can always send a message to registry@firstThingsFirst.org. And we can answer those questions for you so that you have the information that you need to fill out the survey for us. So thank you so much. And good luck, and thank you for the work that you do every day with young children and families. I believe it's the most important work in our entire world, is supporting young children and helping them thrive. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening.